Well, thank you everybody for joining me here today. It's a good day to be in Buffalo. We're still, dealing with what we saw last weekend. But you know what? What I tell everybody wherever I go is that 2026 is our year. And despite me saying that in 2024 about 2025, I'm going to say it again about 2026. I'm excited to be here because one, this time of year in Albany, we're discussing the budget, we're discussing policy, we're discussing all the things we want to get done. And, one issue that's come up consistently, and this goes back to, long before my time in government, just as a resident here in Western New York, is that we experience a transportation gap that really is hindering our economic growth. And we have to approach that issue from all kinds of directions. It's big, like big investments in public transportation. It is the construction of bike lanes. It is the way that we design streets. But it even goes down to the way that we spend our money. So before us is a bill that myself and Senator Cooney from Rochester have put forth. And it's a community benefit agreement that's going to allow individuals to take advantage of putting money aside specifically for transportation costs. It aligns with our state policy with progressive commuter benefits already in place in other regions, ensuring that New York remains a leader in workforce development and economic growth. We know that we have to, like I said, approach this all different directions. And for individuals to be able to put aside money for the increasing cost of transportation pre-tax is just one of many tools in our tool chest that we're going to use to close to shorten or minimize this gap. Last year, Goodwill of Western New York and the University of Buffalo released a report detailing the serious challenges faced by Western New Yorkers without access to a vehicle. The report found that a typical manufacturing or tech company in our region would have access to nearly 19,000 additional workers if our transportation gap were closed. The impact of this gap is severe. Workers without a vehicle earn on average $20,400 less per year. They are 6 times more likely to live in poverty. They also have access to 33% fewer job opportunities than those with personal vehicles. So as long as we have this consistent issue where jobs are not located necessarily where people live, we will always have this problem with getting people to work. And we will continue to invest in our public infrastructure. We're going to continue to invest in our roadways to make them more pedestrian friendly and more commuter friendly. But we, on top of it, have to figure out what we're doing with the dollars and cents. We also live right now in a time where things are getting more expensive, inflation is real, costs are real, and anything we can do to save a couple cents in people's pockets, we got to do it. And this is just one approach that does both those things, in that we're able to put money aside pre-tax, which works good for both employers and employees to tackle this issue. So there's a lot of partners that are with me in this across the state and here locally. It's an honor to stand with them here. I'll bring one of them up right now, and that's Josh Veronica from the Buffalo Niagara Partnership.
Thanks, Assemblyman. Good morning. I'm Josh Veronica, Director of Government Affairs at the Buffalo Niagara Partnership. We are the Regional Chamber of Commerce, and collectively our members employ over 250,000 people in the region. And every single year we survey our membership. One of the questions that we ask them is, what are your biggest barriers to attracting and retaining qualified workers to your business? And every single year, one of the top concerns that they raise is transportation. Workers need reliable ways to get to work, and they need to be able to afford those ways of getting to work. And so what this bill would do is help workers afford those transportation costs, whether it's ride sharing, whether it's public transportation, alleviating that cost burden for them getting to work. That's a benefit to employers. Not only do they save on payroll taxes, but by ensuring their workforce can get to work better, that will reduce days missed, that will keep their businesses working as they should be working. So the Buffalo Niagara Partnership supports this bill. We thank Assemblymember Rivera for introducing this. There is no silver bullet fix to the issue of transportation. This is something that the BNP consistently works on, is how do we alleviate these challenges, but this is certainly a great step in the right direction. So again, we thank the Assemblyman for his effort on this issue, and we encourage the legislature to advance this bill in the year ahead. Thank you.
Along with Josh, we have with us Jamie Hammond-Burney from the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus.
Thanks for joining, everybody. My name is Jamie Hammond-Burney. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer for the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. And thank you, Assemblyman Rivera, for working to advance this important legislation. The Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus is home to more than 200 companies, and these companies employ thousands of Western New Yorkers, and the Western New Yorkers who commute here regularly use a wide array of transportation options. It's critical that commuter benefit programs get with the times and support a variety of options for employees, whether it's driving to work, taking transit, ride sharing, biking, or using bike share services. We welcome this proposed legislation and look forward to the choices and opportunities it will bring for both employers and employees in our region. Thank you, and we look forward to continuing to work with Assemblymember Rivera's office on this important legislation.
I mentioned Goodwill earlier, and I'm thankful to have Randy Murphy, Vice President of Workforce Development and Human Resources at Goodwill, Western New York.
Thank you. Randy Murphy, Vice President of Workforce Development at Goodwill, Western New York. Wanted to thank Assemblyman Rivera for having us here today and moving this legislation forward. At Goodwill of Western New York, we have a unique perspective because we not only serve individuals looking for employment, but we also work with employers that are truly trying to fill a significant number of open roles. And the unfortunate reality of the situation is for our program graduates, our program participants, there is a significant number of jobs that they don't have access to. So at the end of our program, when individuals graduate and we sit with them and we start to really look at the job opportunities, the unfortunate reality is those are significantly diminished if you don't have access to reliable transportation. In fact, we just met with employer partners yesterday, and the concerns are real. There's over 19,000 additional individuals that our employers would have access to if we could figure out ways to mitigate this transportation challenge. So as Assemblyman Rivera said, this is one of many ways, right? So it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's putting all these pieces together to hopefully be able to meet both those needs of the dual customers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have with us one of our most well-known employers here in Western New York, and that's Jerry Irving, Vice President of Human Resources for MOG.
Hello, everyone. Jerry Irving, VP HR at MOG. We're located way out in Elma, New York, and that's what people think from the city, that it's so far to get out there because the transportation is not very good unless you have a car. So we are all for this bill that Assemblyman Rivera has proposed. Anything that we can do to improve our ability to recruit, because we employ over 4,000 people in Western New York, and we're growing. We need to hire more people. So we are all for anything that can do to bring people out all the way out to Elma. Also, we want to have our employees reduce their cost of transportation. So anything we can do in that area is also a big benefit. And lastly, we think this bill would go towards reducing carbon emissions, which we all can benefit from. So again, thanks Assemblyman Rivera for inviting me out here, and also we're a big supporter of this. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have with us an organization that has really been advocating for all sorts of measures when it comes to not just this issue, but really around pedestrian safety, around the expanding of other means of moving folks. And they've been on the forefront of getting a lot of good work done here in Western New York. And I'll next have with us Christine from GO Buffalo Niagara.
Good morning, Christine Krolewicz. I'm the program manager for GO Buffalo Niagara, which is a program of Go Bike. Specifically, this program works with employers who are seeking a healthier, more productive workforce. These are businesses and organizations who understand that commuting to work in active and sustainable ways contributes to those goals. Our team identifies internal changes that organizations can make to hiring policies, employee benefits, and physical amenities that can make it easier to get to work without driving alone. These can be simple things like lockers, showers, secure indoor bike parking that actually make a big difference. Imagine you start a new job and the only transportation benefit you're offered is a parking pass. Of course, that's just incentivizing you to drive. And what if you actually don't even have access to a personal vehicle? A parking pass isn't benefiting you at all. So if we're serious about employee health and sustainability, then giving an incentive to drive isn't going to get us there. Commuter benefits that extend beyond just parking give employees choices in sustainable, active, and affordable ways to get to work. This benefits the entire workforce when we support employees who don't rely on a personal vehicle, and also give those who have the option to drive a reason to make a different choice. This important bill would allow employees to make pre-tax contributions to things like transit passes, ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft, and even e-bike purchases. So a policy like this helps New York State reach its climate goals and create a healthier, more productive, and more sustainable workforce and region. Thank you.
And the last speaker we have here with us is someone else that's been advocating for this legislation, but then also representing another great company, and that's Harvey Miles from Green Force.
Hi, I'm Harvey Miles from Green Force Training and Staffing. And what this bill would do will help with the work that Green Force is already moving forward to help with the workforce here in Western New York. It helps give a montage of solutions that each person or each job seeker can use to get to work and to get home from work. So we're very happy to support this bill in that it also helps the progression of the things that we're trying to bring in to help the underserved and those who are low income, so that we can encourage them to get out to these jobs and to use other creative solutions to get to work. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Again, I want to thank Roswell Park for hosting us on this day in this beautiful space, and I'll open up to any questions that folks may have.
Do you think this is hindering employers for hiring people with no transportation how to get to places?
Yeah, it's a good point. You know, over the years, what we've seen in Western New York is Buffalo moving from its sort of hub, industrial center of employment to places of employment being outside the city of Buffalo. And simultaneously, we see people move out outside the city of Buffalo, but still there are so many people here within the city that just can't find their way to get to an employer. There is, you know, there's a demand, certainly. I talk to employers from any industry you could think of, from restaurants to manufacturing to housing to construction to you name it, and they're looking for folks. And here in the city of Buffalo, we have more and more people arriving here, and they're ready to work. And we know we have this this sort of ongoing and generational connection to our vehicles, and I don't think that's going to change tomorrow. But I want to say that as long as we have this difference between where jobs are and where people live, and as long as we have the the wage and the sort of economics around it still being what they are, we need to provide methods by which people can get to where they need to go, so that they can get to employment, so they can create wealth, so they can buy homes. And it's really, at the end of the day, moving from coming here looking for work to actually capturing your version of the American dream.
You guys did mention that these pre-tax monies can be used for things like e-bikes, ride share. What if an individual wants to strive towards obtaining their own personal vehicle?
Sure.
Would they be able to use those funds for that?
Yeah, no, I mean, you couldn't use this money to pay like a car payment, for example. No. I mean, this is really meant to help those that are without a vehicle be able to put money aside to get to work, in the hopes that getting to work, having money in your pocket, then allows you to sort of move forward. But truthfully, what we need to do in this region is sort of incentivize the use of other means of transportation. We like I said before, have a bit of a way of doing business here where everybody is a multi-car family, and that's certainly what people can choose to do. But what we see across this country is urban centers, and really all over the world, but just looking in the Northeast alone, we look at urban centers, and what the trick is in bringing people into urban centers and keeping them here is that we provide amenities and public transportation. So when we're investing in our parks, when we're investing in our assets, and we're also investing in our public transportation, we will see it. It's a bit of a chicken and egg, where we say, we have this system, we have the NFTA, and we have, options like that. But, where's the ridership? Well, do we build it out so that more riders come in, or do we incentivize riders to start taking it? So it's going to be all these approaches simultaneously. But, the hope is that more people use public transportation for all kinds of reasons, and that, we make it more affordable for them. All right, thanks, everybody.